Hello and welcome to The Faithful Stamper. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you to anyone who is watching this on a replay, and also thank you to those who might be checking out the YouTube video. Glad to have you. Hi Rosemary, happy Monday and happy belated birthday. I apologize that I didn't get a card off to you. Hi Corinne, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. I'm going to give this a minute for people to hop on. And then we will see what happens. Trying something a little different tonight. All right. We'll see if my technology is working or not. Looks like it's acting like it's a Monday. Oh, thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate that. It will give me something to look forward to. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. I will talk about my usual housekeeping business and then we'll get going. Hi, Anne. Thank you for sharing and welcome. Happy Monday. All right, so we'll get back to the catalog here in a minute, but I wanted to talk about a couple things. First of all, prizes from last week's video. Corinne, this is coming to you in the mail, and I also mailed out the other cards and prizes Friday or Saturday, so those are all going to the recipients. And Patty Reichenbach is going to get this card. So thank you ladies for commenting and sharing on the video. I will be doing that again tonight, but we're gonna do it a little bit different and you'll see why here in a little bit. And then just a reminder, we've got 6 days left in the month. By the time we meet again, it will be July, which is crazy to me. But one last chance to get in the June drawing using my host code if you order off my website. And someone is going to get this lovely ribbon. This is Misty Moonlight, and it is, I never get the English the right way up the first time, inner braid ribbon. This is beautiful. I was playing with this not that long ago and it's a lovely ribbon. So somebody is going to be the winner of this lovely spool of ribbon just for placing an order on my website. Okay, so we're doing something different this evening. So if you're here for card making, I'm sorry, I'm gonna break your heart a little bit tonight. I am stepping way, way, way outside my comfort zone, and I'm going to be making a scrapbooking layout. I have not scrapbooked in probably 15 years. It just kind of wasn't my thing. I actually, I have 1 year done for each of my girls, and it's not 100% done. It's probably about 90% done, and my girls are 22 and 19. So that tells you that scrapbooking really wasn't my thing. I still collect all the bits and pieces for scrapbooking, but I haven't actually done it. But with the closing of Close to My Heart and some of their makers coming over and joining the Stamping Up family, we have been looking at expanding our product line. We did not buy them out. That is not how that worked. But we did purchase some of their product line, so you are going to be seeing an expansion in the scrapbooking department, just not quite yet. But I decided that I'm going to do one layout a month. I have some friends who are more scrapbookers than card makers, and so they were interested in having me put together some layouts. So I'm a little worried that this isn't going to fit all on the page at one time, but I kind of started out easy. It's not quite going to fit. I'm going to post pictures of these on the page here when I'm done though. So this is one page. I kind of went easy with the Memories and More cards, and I'm going to talk about my product here in a little bit. And then here is the second page. I think you can almost see all the way to the bottom. I'm going to have to figure this out. I even raised my camera up, and I'm still not far enough away. So this is what we're going to do tonight. Not rocket science by any means, and I know this is kind of, some people might think this is plain Jane, but this is all out of my brain, so I'm rather proud of this, and I'm going to show you what I used to make it. So, let's see. that was the reason I had my catalog out here, because I want to talk with you about some of the products that I'm using on the pages. So here is one item, and then the other one is here, this label behind my pretty die cut. One of the ephemera sets, which I forgot to order, was the Labels and Layers pack. I did a video on the mix and match ephemera packs here, and I ordered all of them but that Labels and Layers, so I rectified that on my last order. And I decided to see if anything from this bundle of labels worked with that scrapbook page. And a couple of them did. Some of them I really wanted to make work and they didn't quite work. But that was okay. I'll be using them on something else, I'm sure. So these are very handy pieces. And let me see here. I made up some cards. Actually, if you want to see, I have a habit of standing off to the side and not in the center of my camera, I have found. The other one that I used was the Saying Something, and that is the pack that has the scroll letters like this, and then some of the other sentiments as well. And I am using one of those here on that second page. So that's the first part. The next part, I am making use of some of these Memories and More cards. You might remember I did some cards with them. I'm primarily using the Thoughtful Journey Memories and More card pack. I happen to have them still laying on my table, and I also had some of the DSP that coordinates, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. So that is some of the cards you're going to see tonight. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you the stamp set and the designer series paper that I'm using. So this is one of our new bundles from the annual catalog. It is the Thoughtful Journey set. I actually ordered the whole suite, and here's the paper that comes with it. It's beautiful. And then we have the stamp set, Thoughtful Wishes, which you're going to see me use a couple of these images tonight. And then the dies, and I wanted to quick show you the dies. I only used one of them. I thought I was going to use more, but I ended up only using this large one. And I have seen lots of different demonstrators use this on cards and other projects, and this is really a show stealer. If you do this in glittered cardstock, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. So, and it's not that much of a pain to punch the little pieces out. I was a little worried about that, but you can actually leave some of them in if you want, and it doesn't take away from the look. So I just wanted to give you a quick look at that. And then we will get down to business here, and I'll see how we do. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thanks for sticking it out with me. Now, one thing I wanted to say is that I'll tell you how out of practice in scrapbooking I am. I am so out of practice that I forgot to order the new colors of 12 by 12 cardstock. So I had to go with what I had on hand. That was part of where this layout came to be. So I thought this was Pretty Peacock cardstock. I think it's actually Tranquil Tide, which was a color right before Pretty Peacock, and it's just a slightly different shade. So we're kind of going to pretend it's Pretty Peacock tonight, but I'm going to make this layout in a second color because I didn't have any more of the green to use. So you're going to see me make this on 2 pieces of Highland Heather 12 by 12. I used to scrapbook 8.5 by 11 when I did my girl scrapbooks, and I'm opting for 12 by 12 because a lot of the girls I know do the 12 by 12 layouts, so I wanted to try to help them with their ideas. And I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to keep these pages. You're probably going to see them for sale at some of my events or card classes because I'm not really planning on getting into scrapbooking. You never know, but we'll see. So this is going to be Highland Heather. And we're just going to do 1 page at a time here. And so I'm going to give you a quick peek at the first layout again. So here, hopefully you can see that. We have a long panel here that's basic white. We have This is one of the 3x4 cards from that Memories and More pack. These are 2 more, plus the label in the middle. And then the boxes at the top and the bottom are just 3x4 pieces of cardstock, and they serve the purpose for a photo or a journaling box that you could put here, depending on how you like to do your scrapbooking. So I have, for my purposes, just some copy paper with a label on and some removable tape, which I'm finding is not sticking. It's supposed to be more like a Post-it, but it is not playing nice, I have to tell you. So I figured for this long panel here, if you don't want to write here, you could always do some smaller pictures or come up with something different. And again, like I say with my card layouts, this is just a springboard. You might hate this, but you might like some of the elements and want to do them yourself in a different way, and that's totally fine with me. This is just kind of, let's get started and see what happens. So we're going to start with this long panel. It is a piece of basic white that's 3¼ inches by 11½ inches. And all I'm going to do with this, I do not have special glue that I'm using for this, so I'm going to use my Stamp and Seal till it runs out, which probably won't take long here tonight. And then I've got my Stamp and Seal Plus at the ready. I'm going to try not to tape this to death, so we'll see how I do. So this panel I'm going to put on the left side. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a border. I figure you could also flip the layout if you preferred the large white panel on the right. You could definitely do that as well. Now I wanted a little bit of accent here, so I took a square of Designer Series paper that's 2½ inches, or 2¼ inches, I apologize. And I just cut it on the diagonal. And I coordinated this from the paper pack because I wanted it to go. And so all I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna pull out my silicone mat here for a minute and put glue on the back of these because I want those corners to stick, but I don't want to get glue everywhere. So make sure you're cutting your paper correctly on the diagonal that you want. I am very often an offender of cutting my paper in the wrong direction and then having to come up with a second project for the piece that I cut incorrectly. All right, so these I'm just gluing right on the corners of that large panel. I just didn't want to leave it plain white. Now, if you're anything like me, you lay things out and kind of get a look at them before you keep going. So I have these 2 Memories and More cards. Remember, they're reversible. Some of these I hated to use the only one side because I like them both. Just means I might need to order another pack. Now for the center card here, I'm going to layer it twice. So this is 3x4. This layer is 3¼ by 4¼ and I ended up with 6 of them for the different cards that I'm layering or the photos or journaling boxes that can be put on later. And this is Gorgeous Grape. And then this is Lost Lagoon, and this is 3½ by 4½. So obviously you could just put the card by itself. You can layer it once, or you can layer it twice like I did. I just wanted it to look slightly different. So let's get to some layering here. I love this. Like I said, really hated to cover that one up. You guys will have to tell me if you are scrapbookers or card makers. I may in the future do a layout where we create a 2-page layout and a card or 2. I'm just getting my feet wet here, so this was really flying by the seat of my pants to put this together. It took me all day on Saturday. All right, so that's layered together. That's gonna go in the middle, and then let me find here the appropriate boxes. I'm gonna do a 4x3 at the top and the bottom, And then here is my label that's gonna go here in the middle. So start wherever you're comfortable. Okay, Rosemarie is a card maker. Very good. I really wanted to be a scrapbooker, but it just really, I used to get together once a month with a girlfriend and we would work on our scrapbook layouts. She was always a lot more organized and faster than I was. And then our kids grew up and life got busy and we just have not done it. So she has stuck with it, but I have not. And card making is definitely more my thing. Here, I'm going to turn this sideways so you can see here, hopefully, what I'm doing. Now, I know some people are precise with their measurements, and I'm just kind of winging this totally by eyeballing. One other thought I had was on this card, you could write in the location of where your pictures might be from. Same with this. So again, just some ideas to kind of get the ball rolling and dip my toes back into the scrapbook page pool. So I will post pictures of all of these pages on the website, hopefully tonight, and if not, tomorrow. All right, yep, there went the tape refill. And naturally, I am out of stamp and seal refills. I can't figure out how I did that, but I've got lots of plus. So we're just switching gears. It doesn't really matter. You can use your favorite adhesive for these layouts. And then I'm just going to add these two pieces to the top and the bottom. Ooh, okay. Ha, this one just ran out too. It's gonna be one of those days. All right, so we're gonna quick change the refill. They come in little bags like this. I do love the Stamp and Seal Plus though. Just comes in noisy bags. All right, so just like that, ready to roll again. So this one, I put a little bit lower and I was trying to keep the center boxes lined up. So I think I did pretty close here. Now I know I don't have a ton of people on tonight, but you guys will have to let me know. How do you feel about bling in scrapbook pages? It's been such a long time. I don't know. I think I probably did a little bit before, but I'm not sure how I felt about it on these pages. I did actually have the pearls that coordinate with this set. This is the adhesive backed pearl trio, and they are beautiful, but they're large pearls, and I wasn't sure how I felt about pearls being bumpy on the scrapbook page. So you'll have to tell me. I'm going to have to go to some of my longtime scrapbooking friends and ask them how they feel about bling in scrapbooking. All right, so here is the second page we're going to work on next. Again, I really kept this basically simple, or as simple as I could. All right, so I did do a tiny little bit of stamping on this page, but I need to get my layout kind of together first. So let's see where we're going to start. I'll put pieces together and then we'll lay them out and I'll glue them down. For the bottom left, I have a piece of designer series paper that's 3 1/4 inches wide, or I'm sorry, boy, I can't read my own writing, 3 inches wide by 6 inches tall. And so it's just half a sheet of the beautiful Thoughtful Journey paper. And I really pulled this out to go with those Memories and More cards, so it all coordinated together. I'm going to lay this on a piece of cardstock that's 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. And so since I didn't have any more of that pretty green, greeny blue, Tranquil Tide, Pretty Peacock, I went with the purples. So we've got Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. Blackberry Bliss was my color on those other 2 pages. All right, so this one's gonna go down at the corner here. Not going to glue anything yet. 1 3x4 box is going to go above that. Now I have another 3x4 Memories and More card. It says Life is an Adventure. I'm going to layer this on a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 Gorgeous Grape piece. And so I mentioned a little bit at the beginning, I am going to do my weekly contest for commenting and sharing. However, putting scrapbook pages in the mail would be a little more difficult. Not that it can't be done, but more difficult. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2 cards from my stash and award those cards to the winners for the weekly drawing. So you won't get scrapbook pages, but you'll still get a pretty card. And if you're interested in any of the scrapbook pages, you'll have to let me know. Okay, so another 3x4 photo or journaling box is going to go down at the bottom of the right corner. For the center of the card, I have one of the large Memories and More cards. This is 4x6. I love that I don't have to do a whole lot of cutting with these. This would even be perfectly lovely in a scrapbook, but I opted to go with the polka dots. So that's going to go in the middle. And on that, I'm going to layer a piece of cardstock that's 3.5 by 5.5. This is Lost Lagoon. Kind of echoes that piece in the middle on the first page. And it's for a photograph to be matted on, or you could even do a journaling box here that's 3¼ inches wide by 5¼ inches tall. So I put photograph here, but obviously you can play with whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that together. I'm not going to glue any of this down just yet because I am going to do a tiny bit of stamping for some accents in just a moment. So I don't want to mess that up if I stamp incorrectly. So there's another one of those labels. I'm using this one more for just a background piece. Oops, and I've got to get my glue dots out. But here I'm going to go with a Pretty Peacock die cut from that Thoughtful Wishes bundle. This is really, isn't this so impressive? Probably not on my hand, but it's lovely. Looks fancy, but isn't too terribly difficult to cut. So, all right, enough of me rambling. And I'll talk about the other pages in just a second when I'm done. So I'm gonna grab some Gorgeous Grape ink. I thought about Highland Heather and doing tone on tone, but I wanted to be just a smidge darker, so Gorgeous Grape is that color. So at the bottom here, I'm going to be putting a banner. I cut 2 DSP banners that are 2 inches tall by 3 inches wide, and they're gonna go sideways, but I wanna fill in a little bit of the space. I felt like it needed just a little bit of something. So here at the bottom, probably where you can't see, I'm gonna do one stamped image and then I'm gonna put a second one up here at the top. So I'm gonna start at the bottom and I need a little piece of scrap paper. Oh, I think you can barely see it on the camera. I'm going to run off the page, so I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper. But you guys probably remember I have oohed and awed over the Zinnia's stamp set because of the beautiful image that you get when you stamped. This stamp is a completely different image, but I am in love with this one too. It just is so pretty, so crisp. And I just really like it. I think this might be my new favorite set. So you might be seeing some more of this. And of course I've got 48 sheets minus a couple of this beautiful DSP. So lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry for just a second and I'm gonna come up here and stamp the other image from the set. So I'm gonna move this piece out of the way because this one's a little bigger. And let's see, that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and close my ink pad because it's bad enough when I'm dealing with cards, but 12 by 12 paper, I'm pretty much guaranteed to stick it somewhere, aren't I? All right, so I'm just making sure my corners look straight so I don't stamp crooked. And I'm gonna stamp here. Isn't that pretty? Like I said, totally different from the Zinnias, but I just, oh, thank you, Mom. I'm glad you can see. I just love how the stamp set looks. This one reminds me of corn. If you stamped it like in black and colored it green, maybe for the growing corn stalks, that would work. All right, so let's go ahead and start gluing the rest down, and then we're pretty much finished. So corner at a time here, and then I'll grab my glue dots. So you guys will have to tell me what you think. Like I said, I am planning to do one layout a month. So I'm going to try to coordinate as holidays come up. The one in July, I'm leaning towards being red, white, and blue, and I have some ideas for that are really completely in my head thus far. So we will see if I can get them out on the paper or not. And I might go a little more freehand with that. We'll see. As I said, I really kept this simple because I am out of my element. But I wanted to get the ball rolling here. So the 3x4, this one goes down in the corner. And you guys know I am not precise with my measurements usually. I like eyeballing things. So this one I'm just gonna kind of center right there. I see Corinne is a fan of this stamp set too. It's just so pretty. And when you put it with this DSP, oh my goodness. Every year I think that, oh, darn it. Kind of screwed up a little bit, that's okay. I should have stamped that lower. Okay, well, we're raising this up just a little bit. And hoping for the best here. I kind of forgot. I think I can just wiggle my fingers under there enough. I want to put my banners just under the edges of my 3x4 cards. So here's hoping. I'm gonna put this one in a little bit more. Whew, okay, I think I did it. Here's where I was thinking about adding some bling, either on the banners or maybe on that card. So I don't know, sit in the fence. All right, let's see if we can do this one. If that's the worst thing I screw up tonight, that will be a small miracle. Ooh, Corinne, that's a good idea. We do have that new set that has the rosettes with it. I have not picked that up yet. I have one of the very old rosettes that I was determined I was going to play with, and I have not yet done that. But that would be a great idea. All right, so almost finished this one. I think all my pieces are glued down now. I like that. I like the watercolor looks, pulling some different colors in. So 2 more pieces to add. This one, I'm not going to glue down. Well, maybe I will. I'm not going to glue it down super heavy because what I was thinking, if you put a picture here, you might not want this down at the bottom. You might want to raise it up a little bit. So I'm just going to lightly tack it, maybe with just a glue dot, just so if I do end up selling this, someone could experiment if they wanted. Corinne, you are correct. I actually meant to die cut this beautiful piece out of something sparkly, but I got so excited that I was actually putting together a scrapbook page that I forgot. So, glimmer paper would work as well. Thank you for that idea. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a glue dot. I also kept everything flat. I could have done dimensionals, but I chose not to. I know when you get into scrapbooking, it's difficult because if you put too much dimension in it, your pages don't sit flat, your cover doesn't sit flat, and then you kind of have a big mess. So I do know a little bit about scrapbooking. All right, so I'm just gonna tack that down, but it could be moved. And then you could also go with low profile gems. We do not have a ton of those. Obviously, these pearls are not quite low profile, but I believe we have some lovely brass ones. I have not gotten my hands on those yet. I keep forgetting to order them. That are like our brushed metallic gems, but they have a little bit of a design or an imprint on the top. Those would be good. I think we still have our flat opals, or kind of our flat pearls. They're kind of beachy. If you like beach layouts, those would be good. All right, so a couple glue dots here, and this also gives it a little dimension because it's not completely flat on the page. So, but it would still be easy enough to slide into a page protector. All right, so that is our scrapbooking layout. So let me pull them along here, see if I can see how much of it I can get in the page at one time. Not quite all of it, but maybe enough that you can see them together. All right, so I haven't taken pictures of this one, obviously, since we just made it, but I do have pictures of the bluey green one that I will put up, and I'll take a couple shots of this and put it up as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you are scrapbookers and you have tips or tricks, anything you would like to share with a fledgling scrapbooker, please feel free to share. I'm always happy to pick up tips and tricks, and we'll just see where we go from here. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. The replay will be up here on the page shortly, and then a copy of this video is actually going to be put up on my YouTube channel, which is Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm, if you have not checked that out. All right, everybody, take care, have a great week, and I'll talk to you next Monday. Happy crafting!